This Mexican food joint makes more than 110 crores in annual revenue. With 50 plus locations in the entire country, California Burrito has brought a Mexican food wave in India. They make more than 2,000 burritos and more than 4,000 tacos every single day. They're also on their way to take Taco Bell's throne in India very soon. Also, they're neither a US company nor a Mexican company, but a Desi Indian company from our very own Namma Bengaluru. But before we dive into the 3 key insights that California Burrito cracked to become a food giant, we need to tell you why it is a very rare startup story. It is not just because they are profitable in an industry where the failure rate is as high as 80%. This story is unique because on the side, while many Indians go to the US to fulfill their American dream, the founder of the company, Bert Mueller, left America to fulfill his Indian dream. And the surprising thing is that he created a business in a new country with zero business background. In fact, he had done his formal education in music and public policy, poles apart from what he's doing now, by the way. And this public policy course became the reason why he came to India in 2010. A trip that had him spend 6 months in Jaipur, a time that was enough for him to fall in love with the country and notice that India was going through a unique QSR transition. A time when we had our second QSR wave going. But what does that mean and what was this second QSR wave? Look, India has gone through 3 major QSR waves so far. And the reason why it's important for us to understand them because it has literally influenced how we act as consumers. The first one lasted from 1991 to 2010 when only the biggest brands like McD, Pizza Hut, Subway and Domino's entered India and the focus was only on tier 1 cities like Delhi, Bangalore, Mumbai. A time when every brand was still figuring out if there's a product market fit in India. Franchisee model became popular this time and everyone was competing on price and Indian customers were deciding which brand would become their weekend getaway and most families were still going out once a week outside to eat max. The second wave was from 2010 to 2016, a time when the concept of premiumization kicked in and every QSR was trying to charge a different price and position itself differently. And at this time, we saw more unique brands coming in like Taco Bell in 2010, Starbucks in 2012 and Carl's Jr. in 2015. A few of these had higher average order values compared to the legacy chains that were already operating. And while this happened, the legacy chains started entering the tier 2 and tier 3 cities and started expanding there. This was the time when consumers started getting more open to different palates and many Desi brands like Wow Momos, California Burritos, Biggie's Burger and more came into the picture. The third wave is from 2016 to now, when Zomato and Swiggy came into the place and the concept of cloud kitchens also came into the picture. Rebel Foods with Fasos and Oven Story and brands like Boxit and Louis Burger popped in. A time when existing QSR giants became more bullish on tier 2 and tier 3 cities. By the way, this is when even homegrown brands started seeing a great year-on-year growth and Indian customers became completely evolved. This was the time when they didn't want to stick to one brand but try different brands and obviously higher average order values came into the picture. In fact, the annual spending of middle-class household on the fast food restaurants in India in tier 2 and tier 3 cities has grown from 2,500 rupees to 5,400 rupees, which is a massive jump of 108% from 2021 to 2023. And all of these 3 waves saw a massive increase in number of stores added, which was 125 from 2005 to 2010, 300 from 2010 to 2020 and 475 from 2020 to 2023. By the way, we are still very underpenetrated if you compare it with a country like China that has 13 stores per million population while we have 3 stores per million population, which is an insane runway for us. And Bert saw this opportunity in 2011 and started California Burrito in Bangalore with his friends, who later parted ways by the way. But this brings me to the very first insight that he cracked, which is product depth. Look, Bert picked the category very smartly. He noticed that the Mexican food and the Indian food have a couple of similarities and weirdly so. Many ingredients like rice, beans that we call rajma and corn are common denominators in both of these cuisines. In fact, India's love for rice is so much that biryani was the most ordered dish in 2023 on Zomato. Even the Mexican tortillas are very similar to rotis and chapatis that we have every day. This similarity turned out to be the reason why he chose Mexican as a food category. He knew that Indian consumers would adapt to this easily. Also, Mexican food category was a clear white space because everyone in 2010 to 2020 has been mostly focused on American and Chinese cuisine and no one was focusing on this category. And Taco Bell had just entered the country a year before them. So in the product, he focused on 2 things beautifully, format and ICPs. We'll dive into both of these, but before we do that, I have something super special for you. Over the course of this year, we've been working on something that will not only help you solve your toughest problems at work, but also help you change your career orbits. We are launching 8 new learning modules that we call crafts at GrowthX, where each craft is designed with frameworks to help you solve your growth problems at work, but most importantly, help you derive direct business impacts. These crafts range from brand-led growth to building growth teams, partnership-led growth, going to market for leaders, plus many more. These are taught by leaders who have built and scaled products at Netflix, Amazon, Cred, Airmeet and other top product companies. The link to check out these 8 new crafts is in the description. Coming back to the point of format and ICPs. Look, in terms of format, what Bert went after was not a Taco Bell format but a Chipotle format, a model used by a famous Mexican chain called Chipotle in the US. This was not a typical QSR model but a FCR model, which is a fast casual restaurant model. Now, what does that mean and how is that different? See, QSR model focuses on serving standardized fixed menu items that can be prepared quickly without making any changes. McDonald's, Pizza Hut, Wow Momos, Taco Bell are good examples of this. On the other hand, the FCR model, which is the fast casual restaurant model, allows the customers to customize their menus and focus on more high quality ingredients, which are much better and healthy than what you see in QSR. Subway is the biggest example of FCR in our country. Both have their own upsides, but Bert saw that Indians were getting more used to this new concept, and this became a great USP to position themselves differently as compared to their competitors. In fact, this turned out really well because their ICP, their ideal customers, turned out to be completely different than a QSR like Taco Bell. So while Taco Bell has been spending a lot of money on positioning themselves as a place for groups and families, be it their ads or even their menus, which has been very much Indianized lately with dishes like paneer makhni and butter chicken tacos, California Burritos' core ICP has still been individuals who want to have a relatively healthy meal at any time of the week. These ICPs are necessarily young and are also willing to grab meals alone. These folks are attracted to the idea of eating less processed stuff. In fact, California Burrito has dropped the plan of Indianizing their menus like Taco Bell has done by sticking to the basics. So now people like California Burrito not because of the Mexican angle but a healthy and fresh angle, because these consumers have seen the ingredients and trust these ingredients are good for their everyday meals, and that's why they even charge a little more price than Taco Bell products. For example, if you compare the cheapest burrito and cheapest taco of Taco Bell and California Burrito, you would see that California Burrito charges a premium. And which makes sense, by the way. Now that we've covered the product insight, let's understand the distribution insight of this amazing product. California Burrito's unique chain expansion. Look, every company needs to have more stores as it scales, and mostly the answer to quick scaling is having more franchises. In fact, if you look at the big QSR boys like McDonald's, Pizza Hut and Domino's, or even desi chains like Burger Singh, Wow Momos, all of them are using their franchisee model in India. And it goes literally for all brands in any category, be it clothing or any other consumer products category. Franchising is the way to go. By the way, if you want to understand the types of franchising models in the country, we have explained all of them in our Fab India video deeply. The link to see that video is in the description. But California Burrito has taken a unique approach here, as they have ruled out franchising from their plans. They are following a COCO model, a company-owned, company-operated store model, where the company not only owns but also operates the store by itself. So while a Taco Bell has 120 plus stores in the country using the franchisee model, they have almost half the scale of 50 plus stores, all of which are self-owned and self-operated. This is commendable as they don't want to falter on quality, as in India many people just buy franchisees and treat these franchisees as side gigs, which leads to possibility of extreme quality deterioration. The logic is simple: obsessively controlling quality and service, satisfying customers, creating a loyal fan base and generating a word of mouth. By the way, rejecting the franchisee route is a big thing because they're also saying a big no to a good amount of revenue they could have earned by giving franchisee licenses. And this COCO models is also the reason why they are conservative with choosing the location, and that's why they have used a smart top-down penetration approach for expansion. By the way, locations are important for any food company because a bad location is literally one of the biggest reasons why food joints fail. And California Burrito has chosen Bangalore as their first prime location since the Silicon Valley of India, and people here are ready to try something new. And even after 13 to 14 years of being in the game, they have only expanded to 4 cities like Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai and Delhi NCR. In fact, till FY18, all of their 26 stores were only in Bangalore. So while the other QSR chains have become more bullish on tier 2 and tier 3 locations in the country after 2020, California Burrito are taking a conservative step in opening places on only the mature markets. Now the question comes, what have they done over time to capture more market share? The answer lies in their great ingredient and marketing mentality. See, the one thing that differentiates when you have a taco here versus what you have, let's say, in US or Mexico is the ingredients. Better the ingredients, better the taste. And this is not new, right? Because even McDonald's India was importing all of their potatoes from outside till 2006 because they couldn't find the exact supplier fit for the exact specification of fries they wanted. By the way, currently this has changed completely as Gujarat has become the French fries capital of the country, with plans by many major players like McCain, ISKCON Balaji, Hyphen Foods. But we'll cover this in detail for some other day. For now, what's important for you to understand is that California Burrito had the problem of not finding the right Mexican ingredients in India. Their solution? Importing these ingredients. They started in 2015 with importing black and pinto beans. But 3 years later, in 2018, they went overboard and got 500 Hass avocado trees imported and planted them here. And that was not all. To serve authentic salsa, they even started growing tomatillos in India, working closely with farmers in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu to make sure that the quality was right. These authentic ingredients made their food taste different than the likes of Taco Bell. By the way, this shows that they are betting on the long-term game because even these trees started fruiting and giving results after 3 years when they got them here. And they've even tried growing chilies and now want to grow the beans too by themselves. This is vertical integration at max, because this not only means that they would have more quality control in the long run, but will also bring more exponential cost advantage as they scale and would bring less dependence on the suppliers. Now that we've talked about the back-end mentality, one key change has also been in their front-level marketing mentality. See, COVID was a brutal time. Entire economy was on halt. India's GDP shrank by 24% year-on-year in the second quarter of 2020. Pre-pandemic California Burrito didn't spend much on marketing and they were not very bullish on aggregators like Zomato and Swiggy. But COVID made people more and more dependent on quick deliveries at home, and guess what? The company had no option but to change its approach and go all in on aggregators, so much so that now their online sales are 50% of their total sales, which is a massive change, by the way. In fact, pre-COVID, company had been spending very little on marketing. The marketing spend was just 1% of their entire cost, but now it has increased to 4% and they are emphasizing more on the top of the funnel. So these were the 3 key insights that California Burrito has cracked beautifully to create a 110 crore food empire. And these insights might help them to take the throne from Taco Bell and become the Mexican food king of India. Also, if you want us to cover any more businesses, do let us know in the comments. Thank you.